My wife cheated, then hired a pie to find me. She didn't know I'd already hired him, to film her public meltdown at our anniversary party. I never thought I'd be writing this. Hell, I never thought I'd be living it. But here we are. My name's Owen, I'm 34, and I work as a satellite systems engineer for a private aerospace company. The kind of job that sounds cooler than it is, mostly spreadsheets and signal calculations, but it pays well enough to keep my family comfortable. Or what I thought was my family. Lila and I met in college 12 years ago. She was this fierce, creative force studying textile design while I was buried in engineering coursework. Opposites attracted, I guess. She had this way of making everything beautiful, our apartment, our life, our future. We got married 8 years ago, had 2 kids who are now 6 and 4. From the outside, we probably looked like we had it all figured out. She runs her own textile design studio now, creating these incredible custom fabrics for high-end clients. I was always her biggest supporter, helped fund the studio startup, watched the kids when she had late meetings with suppliers. That's what partners do, right? The changes started small. So small I called myself paranoid for noticing. First, it was the gym membership in January. Not weird on its own, new year, new goals, whatever. But Lila had never been a gym person. She preferred yoga at home, said gyms made her uncomfortable. Suddenly she's there 4 nights a week, coming home at 10 p.m. freshly showered. Then the password changes. Our iPad that we'd shared for years suddenly needed Face ID. Her phone, which used to sit screen up on counters, now lived face down or in her pocket. When I asked about it casually, she laughed. Just work stuff, babe. Client privacy and all that. The late studio nights multiplied. 3 years running that business, she'd rarely stayed past 7. Now it was 11 p.m., midnight, sometimes later. Always with explanations that made just enough sense that questioning them would make me the idiot. Big order from a boutique hotel chain. Difficult client demanding revisions. Supplier shipment delayed. I found the first receipt by accident 3 weeks ago. Was doing laundry, checking pockets like always. She'd trained me well after I'd washed her lipstick once. Folded piece of paper in her jacket, dinner for 2 at Novell, $400, paid cash. I'd never heard of Novell. Google told me it was a restaurant 40 minutes away, the kind of place you needed reservations weeks in advance. When I asked what she wanted for dinner that night, she said she'd been stuck at the studio eating vending machine crackers all day. That's when I started paying attention. Really paying attention. Her Lyft history was still linked to our shared credit card for safety reasons we'd agreed on years ago. The charges told a story she hadn't bothered to hide well enough. Rides to addresses across town, always starting around 11 p.m., returning at 2, 3, sometimes 4 a.m. The addresses weren't her studio. Weren't her friends' places. I mapped one, a luxury apartment complex downtown. The stupid thing? I still wanted to be wrong. Still wanted there to be some explanation that would make me feel like an idiot for doubting her. I could handle being the paranoid husband. I couldn't handle being the naive one. So instead of confronting her, I decided to be smart about it. Started documenting everything. Screenshots of the Lyft history. Photos of receipts. Calendar tracking of when she said she'd be versus when she actually came home. Built myself a little insurance policy while hoping I'd never need to use it. Last night changed everything. I was in bed, supposedly asleep, when Lila came home around 1 a.m. She slipped into the bathroom, and I heard her phone buzz on the nightstand. Just once. A text preview that would disappear in seconds. But our iPad was on my nightstand. The one she'd password protected but forgotten was still synced to her messages. The notification popped up for just 3 seconds, but 3 seconds was enough. The sender's name was just Z with a heart emoji. The preview of the message was short, but it might as well have been a novel. Can't stop thinking about last night. You're my fix, Z. I stared at the ceiling until dawn, my mind racing through 12 years of memories, looking for signs I'd missed. When Lila woke up, kissed me good morning, and asked if I could watch the kids tonight because she had another late studio session, I smiled and said sure. She had no idea I'd already decided to find out exactly who Z was. After Lila left for her studio that morning, I called in sick to work. First time in 3 years. My boss didn't question it, probably figured I'd earned it after pulling 70-hour weeks on the satellite launch last month. Kids dropped off at school and daycare, I had 6 hours to figure out who was destroying my marriage. Z with a heart emoji. Not exactly much to go on. I started with Lila's Instagram since she'd forgotten I still had the password from when I helped her set up the business account. Her personal account following list, 847 people. But her recent likes told a different story. There he was. Every post from someone named Zara Ambrose got a heart from my wife. Every single one. Going back 6 months. Zara Ambrose. Pastry chef at the Meridian Hotel downtown. The kind of guy who posts videos of himself making chocolate sculptures and calls it edible art. Muscular forearms, carefully groomed beard, the whole package. His bio mentioned he was Michelin trained in Lyon. Of course he was. I scrolled through their comment exchanges. Nothing explicitly incriminating, but the pattern was there. Her commenting on his attention to detail, him responding about her exquisite taste. The kind of public flirting that stays just inside the boundary of plausible deniability. I needed more than Instagram breadcrumbs. I needed proof. That's when I made the call that changed everything. Rodrigo Vega, private investigator. Found him through a corporate security firm we'd used at work. Former detective, 15 years on the force before going private. When I explained what I needed, he didn't judge, didn't console, just quoted his rates. I need everything, I told him. Where she goes, who she meets, what she's doing with our money. Our money? He asked. I've been tracking our accounts all morning. $15,000. That's what was missing over the past 3 months. Small withdrawals, random transfers, cash advances. Always just under the amount that would trigger a notification to my phone. Rodrigo started that day. Within 48 hours, he had photos. Lila and Zara at lunch in places far from her studio. Her car parked at his apartment complex, the same address from the Lyft history. The two of them entering a boutique hotel at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday when she was supposedly meeting fabric suppliers. But the real revelation came when I searched deeper into our finances. Lila had opened a business account I didn't know about. LZ Artisan Experiences registered 3 months ago. She and Zara were starting a business together. A combination of his pastry skills and her design aesthetic for high-end events. They'd already put down deposits on commercial space, equipment, marketing materials. With my money. Our children's college fund money. I was sitting in my car outside my kids' school, waiting for pickup, when Rodrigo called with the worst part. Owen, you need to know something. I was tracking her today, and she met with someone else. Another pie. My stomach dropped. What? Guy named Weston Crowe. Bottom feeder type. Does dirty work for divorce lawyers, manufactures evidence kind of thing. Manufactures evidence? She's trying to build a case against you. Make you look like the cheater so she can take everything in the divorce. Kids, house, support payments. I've seen this playbook before. I watched my 6-year-old run toward the car, backpack bouncing, completely oblivious to the fact that his mother was trying to destroy his father. What do? I asked Rodrigo. You get smart. And you get there first. That night, I played the perfect husband routine while my mind worked through possibilities. Lila came home at 11, slipped into bed smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. She curled against my back, and I had to focus on breathing normally while my skin crawled. The next morning, she was extra affectionate. Made my favorite breakfast, kissed me longer than usual, told me she appreciated me watching the kids so much lately. The performance was flawless. If I hadn't known better, I'd have bought it completely. She left her purse on the counter while she showered. Sloppy. Or maybe she was testing me. Either way, I couldn't resist looking. Hidden in the inner pocket, wrapped in a receipt, was a burner phone. A flip phone, like something from 2005. One unread message on the screen. Meeting tomorrow at 3. Bring the jewelry we discussed. Leave it in his car during lunch. W. Weston. The pie. They were going to plant evidence. Tomorrow. My phone buzzed. Rodrigo, you need to see this. Lila just hired another pie to investigate you. She's trying to frame you for something. I met Rodrigo at a diner 20 miles from my house. The kind of place with cracked vinyl seats and coffee that could strip paint. Nobody I knew would be caught dead here, which made it perfect. He slid a folder across the table. Your wife hired Weston Crowe yesterday. Gave him $5,000 cash up front, promised another 5 when the job's done. The photos inside made my blood cold. Lila at a parking garage, handing Weston an envelope. Close-ups of the cash exchange. Weston's criminal record, fraud, evidence tampering, 2 suspended sentences. He's planning to plant evidence of an affair, Rodrigo continued. Already bought jewelry from a pawn shop, women's clothing from second-hand stores. Has a woman ready to send you flirty texts from a spoof number. The whole package. Can we stop him? Rodrigo smiled. Not a nice smile. Better idea. We flip him. Turns out Weston Crowe had a price, and it wasn't loyalty. Rodrigo knew him from the old days, knew exactly which buttons to push. Within 2 hours, we had Weston sitting across from us in that same diner, sweating through his cheap suit. 10 grand, Weston said. Double what she's paying. And I work for you instead. Deal, I said. But you keep doing exactly what she tells you. Plant the evidence, take the photos, whatever she wants. Just make sure we get copies of everything first. Weston nodded, counting the cash I'd pulled from my emergency fund. She's planning something bigger, you know. This isn't just about divorce. What do you mean? The business she's starting with that pastry guy? She needs capital. Lots of it. She's been talking to lawyers about claiming abuse, getting a restraining order. Forces you out of the house, makes you look dangerous, judges give her everything. I thought about my kids. About how they'd look at me if they thought I was dangerous. The rage that had been simmering turned into something colder, more focused. Do exactly what she asks, I told Weston. Document everything. The next 2 weeks were a masterclass in deception. Lila played loving wife while planting evidence. I found the earring in my car's glove compartment, cheap gold thing that looked nothing like what she wore. The receipt for lingerie tucked into my gym bag. Suspicious charges on our credit card for restaurants I'd never been to, but the timestamps matched when I was supposedly at work. Meanwhile, I was building my own case. Rodrigo had upgraded his surveillance. We had footage of Lila and Zara at their business meetings that were clearly anything but. Financial records showing she'd embezzled from her own company, billing clients for fabric that was never delivered, keeping the payments. Screenshots of text messages between her and Zara planning their future with my money. The anniversary party was her idea. Our 10th anniversary was still 2 months away, but she insisted on celebrating early. We've been so distant lately, she said, eyes wide with fake concern. Let's remind ourselves what we have. What she really wanted was an audience for my humiliation. Invite all our friends, her parents, my colleagues. Plant the final piece of evidence at the party, have someone discover it, watch me crumble publicly while she played the victim. I agreed enthusiastically. Even suggested we make it bigger. 40 guests instead of 20. Her business partners, the neighbors, everyone. She kissed me like she meant it when I handed her the deposit for the venue. You're amazing, she said. This is going to be perfect. She was right about that part. I spent the next week pretending everything was normal while setting my pieces in place. Lawyer consultations during lunch breaks. Moving money into protected trust for the kids. Sending documentation of Zara's work visa violations to a friend at immigration. Getting emergency custody papers drawn up. 3 days before the party, Rodrigo called with pure gold. I've been tracking their communications. They're planning to run. Right after the party, once she's established you as the villain, she's going to clean out the accounts and disappear with Zara. Already has flights booked to Costa Rica. Let her think she's winning, I said. The morning of the party, I was helping set up decorations when Lila's father, Harold, pulled me aside. His face was grim, older than I'd ever seen him. Owen, he said quietly, I need to tell you something about Lila's past. This isn't the first time. Harold looked around nervously, making sure Lila wasn't within earshot. She was across the venue terrorizing the catering staff about the placement of dessert tables, Zara's contribution to the party, ironically. Walk with me, Harold said. We stepped out onto the venue's balcony. The city stretched below us, all glass and steel and secrets. Harold pulled out his phone, showed me a photo of a younger Lila with a man I didn't recognize. Brad Kovic, Harold said. Her fiancé before you. Good man. Owned a construction company, treated her like gold. They were together 3 years. What happened? Harold's jaw tightened. She was sleeping with his business partner. When Brad found out and confronted her, she went nuclear. Filed a police report claiming abuse. Bruised herself up, had photos taken. Told everyone who'd listen that he was violent, controlling, dangerous. My stomach turned. Jesus. Brad lost everything. His business partner bought him out for pennies while he was dealing with legal fees. His reputation was destroyed. Construction contracts dried up overnight. Last I heard, he was working as a night security guard in Phoenix. And you knew this? Harold's shoulders sagged. We found out after. Her mother hired an investigator when things didn't add up. By then, Brad had already taken a plea deal just to make it go away. We paid him a settlement, made him sign an NDA. $250,000 to keep quiet and disappear. You covered it up. I'm not proud of it. His voice was rough. Told ourselves we were protecting her future, giving her a second chance. Therapy, we thought. She'd learn. Change, he laughed bitterly. She learned all right. Learned to be more careful. I thought about the evidence Lila was planning, the pie she'd hired, the abuse allegations Weston had mentioned. She's running the same play. When I saw her with that pastry chef at her studio last month, I knew. The way she was acting, the lies. It's Brad all over again. Harold grabbed my arm. Owen, I can't watch her destroy another good man. Whatever you're planning, and I know you're planning something, you have my support. Your wife? Diane doesn't know about Brad. Would destroy her. But if Lila's doing what I think she's doing. He pulled out a checkbook. Whatever you need. Best lawyers, whatever. Just don't let her do this to your kids. I looked at this man, my father-in-law, offering to help me destroy his own daughter. Why now? Because I've watched those kids with you. You're their anchor. If she takes them, runs off with some guy, tells them you're a monster. They'll end up just like her. Or worse. We went back inside. Lila had moved on to harassing the DJ about the playlist. She caught my eye, blew me a kiss. The performance never stopped. Harold stuck close to me as we finished setup. There's more, he said quietly while we arranged chairs. Brad wasn't the only one. High school boyfriend, college professor she claimed harassed her for grades. Pattern goes way back. How does someone become this? Diane spoiled her. Only child, late in life baby. Could never say no. First time Lila faced real consequences was with Brad, and we even protected her from those. He paused. I failed her. Failed you. Failed those kids. My phone buzzed. Message from my lawyer, papers ready. Judge signed emergency custody order based on evidence provided. Will be enacted moment you give signal. Another buzz. Rodrigo, got video of her and Zara at bank this morning. She withdrew $50,000 cash. It's in her car trunk right now. $50,000 in cash. She wasn't just planning to run, she was planning to disappear completely. The guests started arriving at 6. Our friends, her clients, my coworkers. Everyone commenting on what a beautiful couple we made, how lucky we were. Lila hung on my arm, laughing at my jokes, hand on my chest. The devoted wife. Her mother air-kissed everyone, bragging about Lila's success, the new business venture she was launching. International expansion, Diane gushed. My daughter's always been exceptional. Zara arrived at 7, introduced as Lila's business partner. He shook my hand, looked me in the eye, smiled. The balls on this guy. Everything was in place. The laptop with the evidence queued up. Rodrigo stationed by the door. Weston in the crowd, recording everything on a hidden camera. The police detective Rodrigo knew personally, waiting for my signal. I was ready to destroy my wife. Then my phone buzzed one more time. Rodrigo, she just withdrew another $50,000. She's planning to run tonight after the party. 8 o'clock. Prime time. 43 guests mingling, champagne flowing, jazz quartet playing something forgettable. Lila had changed into a silver dress that cost more than most people's rent. She'd bought it last week with cash, I had the receipt. Speech time. Someone called out. My coworker Dennis, already 3 drinks in. Lila grabbed the microphone first. Of course she did. 10 years ago, she began, tears already threatening, I married my best friend. Owen has been my rock, my partner, my everything. Through building my business, raising our beautiful children, he's been there. Steady. Reliable. True. Every word a knife twisted deeper. The crowd ate it up. Her mother dabbed at her eyes. Zara stood near the dessert table, watching her like she was performing just for him. She finished to applause, handed me the microphone with a kiss on the cheek. Your turn, baby. I took it slow. Looked around the room. Harold gave me the slightest nod. Marriage, I started, is built on trust. On transparency. On truth. Lila taught me that. Pause for effect. She's taught me so much these past 10 years. Especially these last few months. Something shifted in her eyes. Just a flicker. I've always believed that love means knowing someone completely. Their dreams, their struggles, their secrets. I pulled out my phone, connected it to the venue's AV system. So tonight, I want to share something special. A gift, really. The gift of complete transparency. The laptop was already connected to the projector. One click. These are text messages from my wife's phone. Recent ones. The first screenshot filled the wall behind us. Lila to Zara, 2 weeks ago, can't wait to be free of this prison. Gasp from the crowd. Lila lunged for the laptop. I stepped aside, let her stumble in her heels. There's more. Next slide. He's so pathetic. Actually believes I'm at the studio every night. Lila's mother stood up. This is fabricated. Owen, how dare. Let's move to video. Hotel lobby footage. Timestamp clear. Lila and Zara, hands all over each other, disappearing into an elevator. The date? Last Tuesday, when I was home with our sick 4-year-old. The room erupted. Phones came out. People recording, posting, sharing in real time. Lila's business partners backing toward the exit. Her mother collapsed into a chair. Turn it off. Lila screamed. Actually screamed. He's crazy. This is all fake. He's been having an affair. Interesting you mention that. I clicked again. Video from Weston's hidden camera. Lila handing him money, giving instructions, plant the earrings tomorrow. Make sure people see them fall out of his pocket. Silence. Even the catering staff had stopped moving. But wait, I said, channeling every infomercial I'd ever seen. There's more. Financial records. The business account. The embezzlement from her clients. The $50,000 she'd withdrawn today, screenshot from 3 hours ago. She's been stealing from her own clients to fund a new business with him. I pointed at Zara, who was trying to edge toward the exit. Rodrigo stepped in front of the door. Using money meant for our children's education. Harold stood up. Lila Marie Tan, is this true? She turned on her father. You don't understand. Owen's been controlling me. Abusing me. I had to protect myself. By hiring a criminal to frame him? I clicked to Weston's criminal record. Weston Crowe. 2 convictions for evidence tampering. Currently on my payroll, by the way. He's been documenting everything you asked him to do. Weston stepped forward, hands up. All recorded. Every instruction, every payment. Happy to share with law enforcement. Lila went pale. Then red. Then something beyond color, pure rage. You turned him? You've been playing me? For weeks. Every move you made, every lie you told, every dollar you stole. Documented. Recorded. Backed up in triplicate. She grabbed a champagne bottle, raised it like a weapon. 3 people restrained her. Her designer dress tore. Her carefully styled hair came undone. The mask didn't just slip, it shattered. I'll destroy you. She screamed. You'll never see the kids again. I'll tell everyone what you really are. What I really am is prepared. I pulled out the divorce papers. Already filed. Emergency custody granted based on evidence of financial crimes and attempted fraud. Your accounts are frozen as of an hour ago. That's when the doorbell rang. Everyone turned. The music stopped. Rodrigo opened the door. 2 detectives walked in, badges visible. Ms. Lila Tan? You need to come with us. Lila Tan, you're under arrest for embezzlement, wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit fraud. The detective's voice cut through the chaos. You have the right to remain silent. Lila's legs gave out. She dropped to her knees in her torn designer dress, makeup streaming down her face. Not the graceful collapse of a victim, the ugly breakdown of someone caught. This is a mistake. She looked wildly around the room for support. Mom. Dad. Tell them. Harold stepped forward. Officers, I'm her father. I'll be providing additional evidence of a pattern of behavior dating back 15 years. The betrayal in her eyes when she looked at him was something I'll never forget. Pure disbelief that Daddy wouldn't save her this time. Zara tried to slip out during the commotion. The second detective stopped him. Mr. Ambrose? We'll need you to come as well. Questions about misuse of employer resources and work visa violations. The whole room watched as they cuffed my wife. Someone, I think it was her biggest client, was live streaming the whole thing. By morning, it would have 2 million views. As they led her past me, Lila stopped. The kids, she whispered. Don't let them see this online. It was the first honest thing she'd said in months. Already handled. They're at my sister's for the weekend. The aftermath was swift and brutal. By Monday, 3 of Lila's clients had filed lawsuits for breach of contract and fraud. Her studio landlord terminated her lease. Her business partner bought her out for $10 just to get the company clear of her name. Zara's situation imploded even faster. The Meridian fired him within 24 hours. Using hotel kitchen facilities for personal business while on a work visa? Immigration gave him 30 days to leave the country. Last I heard, he was back in France, making croissants at his uncle's bakery. The divorce was uncontested. Hard to contest when you're facing federal charges. I got primary custody, the house, and 75% of remaining assets after the criminal restitution was paid out. Lila got supervised visitation every other weekend and a felony record. Harold and Diane divorced too. Turns out, when Harold revealed Lila's history with Brad, Diane admitted she'd known all along. Had helped cover it up. Harold moved to a condo downtown, comes by every Sunday to see the kids. Diane moved to Florida, sends birthday cards with no return address. The legal proceedings took 4 months. Lila pled guilty to avoid trial. Her lawyer said the video evidence was unsurvivable. She got 18 months in minimum security, out on 8 with good behavior. The judge called her a calculated predator who weaponized the legal system against innocent people. During those 8 months, I focused on the kids. Therapy twice a week. Honest, age-appropriate conversations about why mommy went away. They're resilient as hell, but there's damage. My 6-year-old still asks if mommy stopped loving us. My 4-year-old doesn't ask about her at all. Lila got out 3 months ago. She's living in a studio apartment on the east side, working at a fabric store for $15 an hour. Her professional reputation is radioactive. Nobody in the design world will touch her. She applied to change her name, but the court denied it, can't run from restitution payments. She texts me about the kids. Follows every custody guideline to the letter. Shows up to her supervised visits clean, sober, appropriate. The supervisor says she cries in her car afterward, every time. Last week, she sent a longer message, I know you'll delete this, but I need to say it. I don't know why I'm like this. Why I destroy everything good. I'm in therapy now, real therapy, not the performance kind. The therapist says I have something called narcissistic personality disorder. I'm trying to understand it. To change. Not for you, not for us, but for them. The kids deserve better than what I am. I'm sorry doesn't mean anything, I know. But I am. For all of it. I didn't delete it. Didn't respond either. Some people want dramatic endings. Final confrontations, big revelations, closure wrapped up with a bow. Real life doesn't work that way. There's no satisfaction in watching someone broken stay broken. No victory in being right when it costs your kids their mother. I'm dating someone now. Kindergarten teacher at my daughter's school. She's kind, stable, laughs at my engineering jokes. The kids like her. We're taking it slow. Sometimes I drive past that hotel where Lila met Zara. It's just a building. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if I'd confronted her that first night, seeing that text. Would she have gaslit me into believing I was crazy? Probably. Playing the long game saved me. Cost me too, but saved me more. The kids are doing better. That's all that matters now. The rest is just paperwork and time. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.